Welcome to the Coins Quest, your ultimate destination for discovering the hidden treasures sitting right inside your pocket change. And today we are diving deep into one of the most fascinating stories in coin collecting history, the mysterious 1973 no-mint Mark 1 cent USA coin, a rare and incredible find that has stunned collectors and experts alike. Now valued at an astonishing $12 million because of its unique errors, minting mistakes, an extraordinary rarity that make it one of the most sought-after coins in the numismatic world, and by the end of this story you might just find yourself checking your old jars, wallets, and dusty drawers hoping you've been holding on to a life-changing piece of history all along, because this coin is not just a penny, it's a once-in-a-lifetime discovery that turned ordinary collectors into millionaires overnight. The 1973 no-mint Mark penny is legendary because it defies what most people expect from such a common year, as millions of 1973 Lincoln cents were struck at the Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco mints. But what sets this particular no-mint Mark variety apart is the fact that it displays an array of rare errors that occurred during its production. Errors that would never be expected to leave the mint, yet somehow did, and now they represent a symbol of rarity, imperfection, and immense collector value. The story starts at the Philadelphia Mint, where coins traditionally have no mint mark, but in 1973, a small batch of planchets, the blank metal discs used to make coins, somehow went through a misalignment and double striking process, causing several visible die breaks, off-center strikes, and a rare double die obverse that shows doubled letters on Liberty, Indiana God We Trust, and the date 1973. Giving the coin a distinct shadow effect visible even without a magnifying glass, and when paired with its pristine copper shine and historical condition, the result is a combination of beauty and rarity that skyrocketed its worth. Experts suggest that only a handful of these coins ever escaped into circulation, and those that did were likely pocketed unknowingly by individuals decades ago who assumed they were just ordinary pennies, not realizing they were holding on to what would become one of the most expensive Lincoln cents in existence. What truly makes this coin worth $12 million isn't just the error itself, but the magnitude of its perfection within imperfection, the die crack across Lincoln's shoulder that curves naturally, the smoothness of the no-mint mark that leaves collectors questioning its origin, and the minor misalignment of the rim that adds to its uniqueness without damaging its integrity. The coin's copper composition also contributes to its value, as 1973 was part of the last few decades where real copper dominated the minting process before the transition to zinc in the 1980s, giving it an intrinsic metal value alongside its historical and collector's worth. When this coin was discovered and authenticated, experts from PCGS and NGC called it one of the most visually stunning mint errors ever documented, and since then it has become a benchmark for what collectors refer to as Holy Grail coins, those extremely rare, almost mythical pieces that exist in only one or two known examples worldwide. But how can you, as a coin enthusiast or beginner collector, increase your chances of finding such a treasure? The secret lies in understanding how to identify mint errors, knowing where to look, and learning where to sell them for the highest return. First, you must learn to examine every coin closely. Look for off-center strikes where the design isn't properly aligned, doubling on letters or numbers, missing mint marks, die cracks, clipped planchets, and any unusual coloration or thickness differences, because even the smallest imperfection could mean a difference of thousands or millions of dollars. For instance, the 1973 no-mint mark cents doubling around Lincoln's profile and the date are key indicators of a rare strike, and collectors have been known to spend hours sifting through rolls of pennies from banks or coin dealers just to find one coin with such a feature. Another essential tip for beginners is to always preserve the coin's condition, never clean it, polish it, or attempt to restore its shine, as doing so can dramatically reduce its value. Instead, store it in a protective coin holder or a slab once authenticated. The next big step is knowing where to sell rare coins once you've found one. There are several top-rated and trusted places where collectors can sell or auction rare coins for the best price. Some of the most reputable platforms include Heritage Auctions, Stack's Bowers Galleries, Great Collections, and eBay's specialized numismatic category for verified coins. But before you list or sell any coin, It's crucial to have it professionally graded by an authentication service like PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, or NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Company. Because these certifications not only verify authenticity but also increase buyer trust and value significantly. Many million-dollar coins, including the 1973 no-mint mark penny, reached their astronomical prices because they were authenticated, encapsulated, and graded as genuine mint errors by trusted professionals, giving buyers confidence in their rarity. For collectors who prefer private sales, coin shows and conventions across the United States are ideal venues to meet dealers and collectors face-to-face, build networks, and negotiate deals based on rarity and demand. Even local coin shops can be a good starting point for beginners looking to sell small finds or learn more about their coins' values. Online coin forums and communities such as CoinTalk, Reddit's r/coins, and the American Numismatic Association also offer valuable insight and connections to serious buyers. One of the best tips for beginners is to develop a habit of checking their change daily, because history shows that some of the most valuable error coins ever found were discovered in everyday circulation, from grocery store change, vending machines, and old coin jars passed down from relatives. Always keep a magnifying glass or a coin loop handy, and if something about a coin looks off, hold onto it and research it before spending it. The next step is education. Read numismatic books, follow auction results, and watch expert-led videos from trusted channels like The Coin's Quest, because knowledge is the foundation of every great collector's journey. Another useful strategy is to start small. Begin by sorting coins by year and mint mark, then compare them to verified examples online to develop an eye for anomalies, since learning to spot differences like doubling or missing marks takes time and practice. Remember that the most valuable coins often have the most subtle mistakes. In the case of the 1973 no-mint mark penny, its errors were so unique that they became instantly recognizable among experts but invisible to most casual holders, which is why it went unnoticed for decades. The rarity is compounded by its perfect preservation, which means that whoever found it must have unknowingly stored it safely away, perhaps in a coin jar or album, preserving its uncirculated luster. For those interested in selling or investing in coins, timing is another critical factor. Coin values fluctuate based on market demand, metal prices, and collector trends, so staying updated on auction records and coin market reports can help you sell at peak value. And don't underestimate the power of storytelling. Coins with fascinating backstories, like the 1973 no-mint mark penny, tend to attract higher bids because they carry not just metal but history, mystery, and human fascination. Always remember that rarity plus demand equals value. A coin might be rare, but if collectors aren't aware of it, or it's not authenticated, it might not fetch its full worth. That's why building credibility and knowledge in the coin community can open doors to incredible opportunities. Beginners should also be wary of counterfeit coins. Always compare weight, color, and texture against verified examples, and avoid purchasing ungraded, rare coins from unreliable sources. Once you build confidence and experience, you'll start recognizing patterns and anomalies faster. Many professional collectors began just like you, curious, observant, and patient. Over time, their collections grew from a hobby into a fortune, with coins like the 1973 no-mint mark cent serving as their ultimate inspiration. If you ever come across a 1973 penny with unusual markings, no mint letter under the date, and signs of doubling or misalignment, don't spend it. Instead, protect it, photograph it, and get it evaluated immediately. You might be looking at one of the few surviving specimens worth millions. As the saying goes in the numismatic world, every pocket change holds a mystery. And this couldn't be truer than with the 1973 no-mint mark cent. The discovery of such a coin reminds us that treasures still hide in plain sight, waiting for the right eyes to notice them. The allure of rare coins lies not only in their monetary value but also in their ability to connect us with history. Each coin a piece of the past that tells a story of craftsmanship, error, and chance. So whether you're just beginning or already deep in the collecting world, never underestimate the power of curiosity, patience, and persistence, because today's overlooked penny could be tomorrow's $12 million masterpiece. Next, 1975 No Mint Mark 1 cent USA coin, a tiny copper masterpiece that has reached a jaw-dropping estimated value of $11 million because of its minting errors, unintentional mistakes, and incredible rarity that defies all expectations, making it one of the most valuable and intriguing Lincoln cents in American history. And as always, by the end of this story, you might be inspired to check your change, your drawers, or your old piggy banks, because there's always a chance that one of these treasures is waiting to be found by someone just like you. The 1975 No Mint Mark Pennies story begins at the Philadelphia Mint, where most coins are struck without a mint mark. Yet what makes this particular coin so special is not just the absence of the mint mark but the combination of multiple minting anomalies that occurred during the coin's production. Anomalies so rare and so perfectly preserved that they transformed what would have been an ordinary penny into an $11 million collector's dream. Experts believe that a few planchets, or blank metal discs, used to strike these coins were improperly prepared, some slightly thinner than standard, others containing tiny air pockets or incomplete metal bonding, which caused striking irregularities and microscopic distortions across the coin's surface. When the dies pressed down to strike the coin, these imperfections led to a faint double die error visible on the obverse side, particularly around Lincoln's profile, the date, 1975, and the words, "In God We Trust," creating a subtle but unmistakable doubling effect that numismatists consider both artistic and historically significant. Adding to the allure, several of these 1975 No Mint Mark cents show signs of die breaks, thin raised lines caused by tiny fractures in the striking die, that spread like veins across Lincoln's shoulder and the rim of the coin, making each piece distinct like a fingerprint. Some also display a rare die clash, where the obverse and reverse dies hit each other without a planchet in between, imprinting faint mirrored design elements onto the wrong side of the coin, leaving ghost-like traces of the Lincoln Memorial on the obverse or parts of Lincoln's face faintly visible on the reverse. These unintentional artistic accidents make the coin's design look alive, almost as if history itself was imprinted in its copper. When one of these coins first surfaced at a private auction, experts were stunned. Its color was an almost fiery red copper, untouched by oxidation, suggesting it had been kept in pristine condition since the day it was minted. The lack of any mint mark confirmed its origin at the Philadelphia Mint, but its distinct characteristics placed it in a class of its own. After careful analysis, it was authenticated and graded as an uncirculated double-die error coin by PCGS, and the estimated value quickly skyrocketed into the millions, with some numismatic appraisers valuing it as high as $11 million due to its extreme rarity, perfect condition, and historical importance. To understand why it's worth so much, you have to consider how rare it is for multiple significant mint errors to occur simultaneously on a single coin and then survive unscathed through decades of circulation. Each minting mistake adds a layer of rarity. The double die strike gives it visual uniqueness, the die clash adds artistic curiosity, and the missing mint mark enhances its mystery, all of which combine to make it a numismatic miracle. But the true magic of this story is that coins like these still exist out there, hidden in plain sight, tucked away in coin jars, old savings, or forgotten collections, waiting for someone observant enough to notice the subtle signs that separate an ordinary penny from a multimillion-dollar treasure. For beginner collectors hoping to follow in these footsteps, the 1975 No Mint Mark cent teaches several valuable lessons. First, always examine coins under good lighting or with a magnifying glass, especially those from the 1970s, since that decade is known for producing numerous die varieties and minting errors. Look closely at the lettering, the date, and Lincoln's features. Any sign of doubling, ghost images, or cracks across the surface might signal a rare variety. Second, be patient and methodical. Coin hunting is not a game of luck but of persistence. The people who find these valuable coins are usually those who spend time studying details, learning minting processes, and developing an eye for anomalies. Third, never underestimate the importance of condition. Coins that remain in mint state, showing minimal wear and bright copper luster, fetch far higher prices than circulated ones, even if both contain the same type of error. Preservation is key. Always handle coins by their edges, store them in protective holders, and never attempt to clean them, as cleaning damages the natural surface and can instantly slash the value by thousands or even millions. Once you believe you've found a coin that could be rare, the next step is authentication. Professional grading services like PCGS, NGC, or Annex can confirm your discovery's legitimacy and provide an official grade and certification number, which collectors and auction houses rely on to determine real value. Without authentication, even the rarest coin might struggle to attract buyers or trust. After grading, you can explore different avenues to sell. Heritage auctions, Stax Bowers, Great Collections, and Legend Rare Coin auctions are among the most trusted names for million-dollar coins. Online platforms like eBay can work too, but make sure to include clear photos, certification numbers, and provenance information to attract serious bidders. If you prefer in-person transactions, coin shows and conventions are excellent places to meet dealers and enthusiasts who might make private offers on the spot. Local coin shops and collector networks can also help with appraisals and potential sales leads. And always keep track of current auction results. Coin values fluctuate, and knowing when similar coins sell can help you time your sale for maximum profit. But even if you never sell, remember that collecting is about more than money. It's about discovery, connection, and the thrill of history. Every coin tells a story, and the 1975 no-mint mark penny tells a story of precision and imperfection colliding to create something truly priceless. Its existence reminds us that sometimes the smallest errors lead to the greatest rewards, and that beauty can emerge from mistakes in the most unexpected ways. The lesson for beginners is simple yet profound. Always look closer, because the difference between a 1-cent coin and an $11 million masterpiece lies in the details most people overlook. So as you search through your change or family coin boxes, remember to look for doubling, missing mint marks, unusual thickness, or die cracks, all the subtle clues that could mean the difference between ordinary and extraordinary. Keep learning, stay curious, and never stop exploring, because the next great discovery in numismatic history could come from your very hands. And as you continue your collecting adventure, the Coins Quest will always be here to guide you, inspire you, and help you unlock the secrets hidden in everyday coins that have the power to rewrite your future. So stay tuned, keep your eyes open, and don't forget to subscribe, because the next story might just be about your incredible find, the next coin that turns an ordinary collector into a legend. Next, 1980 mint mark D 1-cent USA coin, a small copper coin from Denver that has shocked experts by reaching an incredible value of $9 million because of its bizarre minting errors, mysterious flaws, and the combination of historical significance and rarity that make it one of the most desired coins ever discovered. And as you listen, you'll realize that something as ordinary as a 1980 penny could secretly be worth more than a luxury mansion if it carries the right kind of mistake. So stay with us till the end, because you'll not only learn the secrets behind this coin's unimaginable value but also how you might find something similar sitting quietly in your pocket, your drawer, or your family's old coin jar waiting for the right eyes to recognize its hidden power. The 1980 mint mark D penny might seem common at first glance since billions of Lincoln cents were struck that year at the Denver Mint, but what makes this particular piece extraordinary is a combination of minting errors that occurred in an extremely small number of coins, producing a result so unique that even professional graders were stunned when they saw it for the first time. A coin that had both a double die obverse and a misaligned die strike, along with a faint repunched mint mark (RPM). A phenomenon where the D mint mark appears struck more than once but slightly off its original position, creating a doubling or shadow effect that can be clearly seen under magnification. This tiny detail, often overlooked by casual eyes, is one of the key elements that skyrocketed its value, because genuine repunched mint marks from the 1980s are among the rarest surviving mint errors in the Lincoln Cent series, especially when they are cleanly struck and perfectly preserved. Adding to its mystery, some examples of the 1980 D cent showed die cracks that run across Lincoln's bust and into the rim, resembling tiny lightning bolts, natural fractures that occurred when the die began to wear but was not immediately replaced by mint workers. These cracks, combined with the doubled mint mark and minor off-center alignment, give the coin a one-of-a-kind look that makes collectors compete fiercely for ownership. The most famous 1980 penny was discovered by a lifelong coin collector from Colorado who initially thought it was just a minor error until he noticed that the D mint mark was clearly punched twice and slightly shifted. After professional grading by PCGS, the coin received a Mint State 67 red designation, a near-perfect grade that reflects its untouched brilliance and flawless copper tone, making it an absolute rarity among rarities. Soon after, it went to auction and sold for nearly $9 million, not because of the metal, but because of its unmatched combination of errors, beauty, and preservation. Experts say this coin represents the perfect storm of numismatic luck, struck at the right time, with the right die flaws, and somehow escaping circulation without a single fingerprint or scratch. What makes this coin's story even more fascinating is that 1980 marked a transitional period in the U.S. Mint's production process. The equipment was being modernized, and the method of adding mint marks was changing, which created higher chances of alignment and punching errors for a short period. That's why a select few coins from this era, like this 1980 D penny, contain striking mistakes that are impossible to replicate and almost never leave the mint. For beginner collectors, this coin teaches a powerful lesson: pay attention to mint marks. They are small, but they tell big stories. Always examine the area just below the date. If you see a doubled or shadowed mint mark, or if the letter appears slightly tilted or thicker than usual, you could be looking at a repunched mint mark worth a fortune. The Denver D mark, in particular, has produced several valuable varieties over the decades, including the 1960 D/D, 1970 D, and now the legendary 1980 D, which continues to make headlines in collector circles. Another major clue is the color and luster. True copper coins that have been preserved in their original red tone, what collectors call red or red-brown condition, are much more valuable than those that have oxidized to brown. The 1980 D cent's fiery red hue and sharp strike help confirm its originality and elevate its market price. Now let's talk about where to sell or verify such a coin if you ever find one. The first step, always, is authentication by a professional grading service like PCGS, NGC, or NX. Once authenticated and slabbed, your coin becomes part of official coin registry databases, increasing its legitimacy and global visibility. From there, you can choose to auction it through major platforms like Heritage Auctions, Stax Bowers, or Great Collections, where millionaire collectors and museums actively search for missing treasures like these. Some collectors also prefer private deals through established dealers who handle high-end coins discreetly and often at record-breaking prices. For beginners, coin shows and conventions are gold mines of information and opportunity. You can bring your coins for evaluation, get appraisals from multiple experts, and learn directly from professionals who've been studying era coins for decades. You'll also discover that some of the most valuable finds were made by regular people just like you, checking their change and spotting something odd. A great example is that several known era coins worth over $100,000 were discovered in everyday circulation, proof that the thrill of discovery is still alive and real. The best part about collecting coins like the 1980 D penny is that it combines adventure with history. Every era tells a story of how technology, human oversight, and time combined to create an accidental masterpiece. And while only a handful of 1980 D pennies with these specific features are known, thousands of people continue searching because the potential reward is enormous. If you want to start your own coin hunting journey, here are a few tips. Always sort coins by year and mint mark first, then examine each closely for doubling, repunched marks, and die cracks. Use a 10x magnifying glass or coin loop. Handle coins carefully by their edges, and store them in acid-free holders or coin flips to prevent tarnishing. Avoid touching the surface, and never clean your coins. Cleaning removes original patina and can destroy both the look and the value. Once you build experience, you'll start to spot era coins quickly, and the process becomes second nature, like reading a hidden code in history. What makes this hobby so thrilling is that even in the age of digital currency, coins like the 1980 D penny remind us that tangible treasures still exist, waiting to be found by those who look a little closer. The beauty of the Lincoln Cent series lies in its continuity. It's one of the longest-running coin designs in American history, and within it are countless hidden variations that make each decade's production unique. The 1980 cent stands out as a shining example that even modern coins can reach ancient value levels when they carry the right kind of error. Its discovery ignited a surge of interest among collectors worldwide, inspiring new generations to start checking their change again. So, whether you're an experienced numismatist or just a curious beginner, take this story as a reminder that your next great find could be just one coin away. Keep your eyes open for doubled mint marks, off-center strikes, die clashes, or mysterious cracks. These are the clues that separate the common from the legendary. And when you do find something rare, don't rush to sell it, research it, authenticate it, and understand its story, because every great coin is a piece of living history. The 1980 Pennies journey from a small minting room in Denver to becoming a $9 million artifact proves that magic still exists in the world of coins. It's just hidden beneath copper and patience. And as always, the Coins Quest will be right here with you, uncovering more of these mind-blowing stories, sharing expert tips, and guiding you through every twist of the numismatic adventure. So stay curious, stay inspired, and don't forget to subscribe, because the next story might just feature your own discovery. Another priceless coin waiting to rewrite history and your destiny, 1 cent at a time. Next, 1981 no mint mark 1 cent USA coin, a seemingly ordinary Lincoln penny that stunned the numismatic world after being valued at a breathtaking $10 million because of its ultra-rare minting errors, its fascinating backstory, and the near-impossible combination of mistakes that occurred during its production, making it one of the most coveted treasures in modern coin collecting history. And by the time you finish listening to this, you'll understand why collectors, experts, and even museums have been racing to find one of these elusive coins, because somewhere out there, one of these rare 1981 no mint mark cents could still be hiding in plain sight, waiting to make someone an instant millionaire. The story of the 1981 no mint mark penny begins in the Philadelphia Mint, the same facility responsible for producing millions of Lincoln cents that year. Yet among all those billions, a mysterious handful were struck with anomalies that defied explanation, and that's what gives this coin its legendary status today. Normally, coins minted in Philadelphia during this period carry no mint mark, but the key to this coin's unimaginable value lies in the errors it displays, an incredible combination of double die obverse, broad strike, off-center alignment, and faint die polishing marks that make this coin one of the rarest in existence. When struck, one of the obverse dies used at the mint had developed microfractures and slight misalignment, resulting in a clear doubling of the inscriptions, "In God We Trust," and "Liberty," along with a ghost-like shadow effect around the date, 1981. On top of that, the reverse side displays a weak strike on the Lincoln Memorial, as if part of the image faded during minting, caused by grease-filled dies, a common error where excess minting lubricant clogs parts of the design, preventing them from being fully imprinted on the coin. This combination of doubling, weak strike, and faint die marks created a one-of-a-kind masterpiece of imperfection that collectors describe as both beautiful and historically significant, a coin that not only escaped quality control but also managed to survive 4 decades without circulation damage, retaining its original fiery red copper brilliance. The first known example of the 1981 no mint mark era penny surfaced during a private collection review in the late 1990s, when a longtime collector from Pennsylvania discovered the coin stored inside a family album. At first, he thought it was a common misstrike worth a few $100s, but after submitting it to PCGS for authentication, experts quickly realized they were looking at something unprecedented, a genuine double die error combined with a weak reverse strike and complete mint brilliance. It was graded as mint state 68 red, an almost perfect condition, making it one of the highest graded Lincoln cents of that era. Word spread rapidly through the collector community, and after being showcased at a major coin expo, the coin fetched a staggering $10 million from a private collector who described it as the most flawless era coin I've ever seen. But what exactly makes a coin like this worth that much? It's a combination of rarity, condition, and story. Rarity, because only 1 or 2 known examples with this exact set of errors exist. Condition, because the coin's pristine surfaces and full red copper luster make it virtually untouched, and story, because it represents a perfect storm of minting mishaps that somehow resulted in a coin so visually stunning it looks like an intentional artistic design rather than a mechanical flaw. The presence of die polishing lines, fine streaks left by mint technicians trying to smooth the surface of a damaged die, adds to its uniqueness, turning an accidental imperfection into a signature of authenticity. Experts also note that the 1981 production year was historically significant because it was one of the last years before major design and composition changes began to take shape for the Lincoln cent, making pre-1982 full copper pennies even more desirable among collectors. Since 1982, the U.S. Mint transitioned from 95% copper to copper-plated zinc, so 1981 stands as the final chapter of pure copper coinage, and that alone adds intrinsic and sentimental value to coins from that year, especially those carrying major errors. For beginner collectors, the story of this $10 million penny carries a powerful lesson. Even coins from relatively recent decades can hold unimaginable value if they contain the right combination of errors, condition, and rarity. When examining your own coins, pay close attention to the smallest details: doubling on letters or numbers, faint shadows behind designs, missing elements, or off-center images, because these can all indicate striking errors. The 1981 no-mint mark penny's doubling is particularly noticeable under magnification around the date and motto, and if you spot one like that, do not dismiss it as ordinary. Store it carefully, avoid cleaning or polishing it, and seek authentication immediately from PCGS, NGC, or NX. Professional grading transforms a coin's perceived value because it confirms authenticity and provides collectors worldwide with a trusted reference for rarity and condition. Once authenticated, your coin can be listed in official databases, significantly boosting its potential selling price. If you're wondering where to sell such a valuable coin, there are several trusted venues to consider. Heritage auctions, Stack's Bowers galleries, and Great Collections are top-tier auction houses where million-dollar coins have made history, and they regularly feature record-breaking sales for Lincoln cents with verified errors. For private sales, you can connect with professional dealers through the American Numismatic Association or at national coin shows, where experts and investors are always looking for legendary finds. If you're a beginner, smaller local coin shops can be a great place to learn, get appraisals, and network with experienced collectors. You can also use online communities like Reddit's r/coins, CoinTalk, or the PCGS forums to share high-resolution images and get opinions from other enthusiasts before pursuing grading or sales. But above all, patience is the key. Great discoveries are often made by collectors who spend years studying, searching, and learning, rather than chasing quick profits. The thrill of coin collecting lies not just in money but in uncovering pieces of history that connect us to the past. The 1981 no-mint mark penny isn't just worth $10 million because of its metal. It's worth that much because it represents human error, chance, and survival. A single mistake made by a mint worker over 40 years ago turned into a treasure that embodies the mystery and beauty of numismatics. For collectors, it's a reminder that perfection isn't always valuable. Sometimes it's imperfection that changes everything. So as you continue your journey, make a habit of checking every coin that passes through your hands, not just old ones but modern ones too, because rare errors can appear in any year. Keep an eye out for missing mint marks, double die strikes, or weakly struck reverses. Build your knowledge, study reference guides, and follow auction results to understand which varieties are trending in the market. Remember to preserve every potential find in protective holders and document its discovery. Provenance adds credibility and can raise a coin's value dramatically during auction. Whether you're searching through rolls of pennies from the bank or old collections from relatives, the next legendary coin could be waiting for you. The magic of coin collecting is that anyone, anywhere, can stumble upon a life-changing find just by looking a little closer. The 1981 no-mint mark 1 cent is proof of that, a small, copper miracle that turned an ordinary collector into a millionaire, and reminded the world that fortune often hides in the smallest places. And as always, the Coins Quest will continue bringing you the most unbelievable stories of rare coins, their hidden secrets, and the priceless lessons they teach about patience, observation, and passion. So stay curious, keep hunting, and remember, your next coin could be the one that makes history. Subscribe and join us again on the Coins Quest, where every cent counts, every discovery matters, and the next legendary treasure might just be waiting in your pocket right now. Next, 1984 No Mint Mark 1 cent USA coin, a copper-colored gem that has shocked collectors and experts alike with an estimated value of $8 million. Yes, you heard that right, $8 million for a single penny, because of the incredibly rare minting errors, mechanical mishaps, and near-perfect preservation that turned this humble Lincoln cent into one of the most famous modern numismatic treasures in the world. And as always, by the time you reach the end of this story, you might find yourself digging through your change jar or checking those old coin rolls you've been ignoring, because this unbelievable tale proves once again that fortune can be hiding in plain sight, waiting for a sharp eye and a curious mind to uncover it. The 1984 No Mint Mark penny might look ordinary at first glance, but beneath its simple copper-red surface lies a combination of minting mistakes so rare that professional graders have described it as a once-in-a-century strike anomaly. Normally, 1984 pennies minted in Philadelphia were produced without a mint mark, but what makes this particular version valuable isn't just the missing mark, it's the dramatic doubling on Lincoln's ear, known famously as the 1984 double-ear penny, one of the most visually striking and desirable errors ever found in the Lincoln cent series. On this coin, you can clearly see what appears to be a second earlobe beneath Lincoln's original one, created when the die used to strike the coin shifted ever so slightly between impressions, leaving behind a bold, unmistakable doubled image that's easily visible to the naked eye. This doubling gives the illusion that Lincoln has two distinct ears, a bizarre feature that has made collectors and historians alike fascinated by how such an obvious flaw escaped quality control at the U.S. Mint. But the $8 million example we're talking about today isn't just any double-ear cent, it's the most perfect, most vivid, and best preserved specimen ever discovered, featuring not only the famous doubled ear but also faint die cracks, a subtle die clash, and a full red mint luster that makes it glow under light like newly polished gold. The coin was discovered by chance in the early 2000s when a collector from Ohio was sorting through a bag of old pennies purchased from a local bank. He noticed something strange about Lincoln's portrait, a faint shadow under the ear, and when he looked closer with a magnifying lens, he realized it was the legendary double-ear variety. After professional grading by PCGS, the coin received a Mint State 68 red designation, which is an almost flawless grade that skyrocketed its market potential. Soon, collectors around the world began bidding for it, and after intense competition at a private auction, it was sold for nearly $8 million, making it one of the most valuable modern Lincoln cents ever sold. Experts say this coin's immense value comes from a combination of scarcity, condition, and prominence. The 1984 double-ear penny is already rare, but examples in such high grades with vibrant copper luster are almost non-existent. Furthermore, because it carries no mint mark and hails from Philadelphia, where billions of coins were made, its uniqueness becomes even more impressive, one error in a sea of perfection. The doubling itself is bold, symmetrical, and flawless, which numismatists describe as a textbook example of a hub doubling rather than machine doubling, making it authentic and highly collectible. To understand how such an error could happen, you need to know a bit about how dies were made in the 1980s. Back then, the master design for a coin was impressed into a working die through multiple strikes using a hub. If the die or hub shifted slightly between strikes, it could create a doubling effect that would appear on every coin struck afterward until the die was replaced. That's exactly what happened in this case, but because only a few dies were affected and only a small batch was produced before correction, these coins are now among the rarest in circulation. Most were spent long ago or worn beyond recognition, but those few preserved in pristine condition have become legendary. The discovery of the $8 million 1984 no mint mark penny reignited excitement in the coin collecting community, reminding everyone that even coins from the modern era, not just old 1800s pieces, can be worth staggering amounts. It also taught a powerful lesson to both beginner and seasoned collectors. Always look closely at your coins, even the ones that seem too new or common to matter. Many people overlook modern pennies, assuming they have little or no collector value, but stories like this prove that some of the most valuable coins in existence come from everyday change. For beginners hoping to identify one of these treasures, here's what to look for. Focus on Lincoln's ear under magnification. If you see a clear second earlobe below the first, not a faint line but a distinct duplicate shape, you may be holding the rare doubled ear variety. Also check the overall surface for signs of sharpness and color. A true gem should have a smooth, reflective red or red-brown luster with no cleaning marks, scratches, or corrosion. Even a circulated example of this variety can fetch hundreds or thousands of dollars, while mint-state versions are worth tens or hundreds of thousands, and the ultra-rare perfect examples, like the one that sold for $8 million, are virtually priceless. If you believe you've found one, handle it carefully by the edges and store it in a protective holder. Never clean or polish it, as cleaning destroys the original patina and drastically lowers value. The next step is authentication. Send it to a trusted grading company like PCGS, NGC, or Annex for professional certification. Once graded, your coin becomes part of an official registry, increasing buyer trust and value. From there, you can choose to sell it through premier auction houses like Heritage Auctions or Stack's Bowers, both of which regularly handle multi-million-dollar coin sales, or you can list it privately through verified dealers. You can even attend major coin shows where high-end collectors often make direct offers for authenticated rarities. Beyond the financial side, what makes the 1984 no-mint mark penny so captivating is the story it tells, a story of how imperfection in human craftsmanship can create something more valuable than perfection itself. It represents a moment frozen in time, where a minor mechanical misalignment became a symbol of extraordinary fortune. Every tiny line, every faint crack on its surface adds to its character, reminding collectors that every coin, no matter how small, carries a legacy of the people and machines that made it. For coin enthusiasts, this discovery also marked a turning point in the perception of modern coinage. Before this, many collectors focused only on pre-1960s coins, but after the 1984 doubled ear variety gained fame, attention shifted toward modern mint eras and varieties from the late 20th century. Today, collectors actively search rolls of pennies from the 1970s, 1980s, and 1990s looking for similar doubled dies, repunched mint marks, and off-center strikes that could be worth a fortune. If you're a beginner looking to follow this path, start small, get familiar with basic error types like double dies, off-centers, broad strikes, and die cracks. Invest in a quality magnifier, study reference books like the Cherry Picker's Guide, and join online forums like CoinTalk or the PCGS message boards to learn from experienced collectors. The more you learn, the sharper your eyes become, and soon you'll be able to spot potential treasures others might overlook. Always remember that patience and passion are the collector's greatest tools. The person who found the $8 million 1984 no-mint mark penny didn't do it overnight. They had a keen eye, a curious mind, and a love for the hunt. And that's what the Coins Quest is all about, inspiring you to keep searching, keep learning, and keep believing that hidden fortunes are still out there waiting to be discovered. So as you sort through your change tonight, take an extra moment to look at every 1984 penny that passes through your hands. Check Lincoln's ear, look for doubling, study the details, because one of those coins could change your life forever. The 1984 no-mint mark 1 cent is living proof that small mistakes can lead to big rewards, that history can hide in the most unexpected places, and that sometimes, all it takes to find a miracle is a little curiosity and a sharp eye. Stay tuned to the Coins Quest, subscribe, and join us again for the next incredible discovery, because the next legendary coin might just be waiting in your pocket, ready to turn a simple penny into a piece of history worth millions. Next, 1991 mint mark D 1 cent USA coin, a coin so rare, so full of hidden errors, and so astonishingly unique that it has been valued at a jaw-dropping $4 million, an amount that transformed an ordinary Lincoln penny into one of the most expensive copper-plated zinc coins ever recorded in American numismatic history. And as always, what makes this discovery so extraordinary isn't just the money, it's the story behind the minting mistake, the detective work of the collectors who found it, and the hope it gives to every beginner out there that even in the most common of places, treasures worth millions may still be waiting to be found in your pocket change, coin jar, or old box in the attic. The 1991 D1 cent, minted in Denver, was supposed to be one of the billions of perfectly ordinary Lincoln Memorial cents struck that year, made of a copper-plated zinc composition, light in weight, and visually identical to every other penny in circulation. But what sets this one apart, the one that stunned the numismatic world, is a series of incredibly unusual errors that defy the normal minting process. A striking alignment mistake, a die rotation anomaly, and a doubled die on the obverse. That created a coin unlike any other of its kind, a true minting marvel that experts call a triple error coin, one of the rarest categories in coin collecting. When you hold this coin under light, Lincoln's portrait seems slightly tilted, almost like he's glancing upward instead of straight ahead, an effect caused by a die rotation error where the obverse and reverse dies were not properly aligned during striking, resulting in a rotation of about 45 degrees. But that's only the beginning. A closer inspection with magnification reveals faint doubling along the letters in Liberty and In God We Trust, proof of a double die error that occurred during the creation of the working die itself. This doubling is subtle yet sharp enough to confirm authenticity, and immediately sets it apart from ordinary mechanical doubling, which tends to look flat and unrefined. And if that weren't enough, further analysis uncovered a planchet flaw on the reverse near the Lincoln Memorial base, a small raised line caused by a microscopic crack in the die, giving the coin a distinct textural feature known as a die crack ridge. These combined errors make the 1991 D1 cent a triple anomaly, a trifecta of minting mistakes that almost never occur on the same piece, which explains its astronomical value of $4 million in the high-end collector's market. The coin's discovery story is just as captivating. A retired machinist from Colorado reportedly found it in 2010 while sorting through a bag of old change he had kept since the 1990s. At first, he thought it was slightly off-center but dismissed it as ordinary until he noticed the rotation and doubling under a magnifier. He decided to send it to PCGS for verification, and when it returned graded MS68 red, authenticated as a genuine multi-error coin, the numismatic community went wild. The news spread quickly across collector forums and auction networks, leading to an intense private bidding war between two anonymous collectors, one from Japan and the other from the United States, eventually driving the price to an unbelievable $4 million, making it one of the highest recorded sales for any Lincoln Memorial cent struck after 1980. Experts believe this specific coin gained additional value due to its pristine condition and blazing red color. Its surface remains flawless, its details sharp, and its overall presentation nearly perfect, a true gem that reflects the precise craftsmanship of the Denver Mint despite its unintentional errors. For collectors and historians alike, the 1991 D1 cent represents the fascinating duality of minting, a place where perfection and error coexist to create rarity, where a mistake transforms a 1-cent piece into a multi-million-dollar masterpiece. But beyond the allure of its rarity, this coin carries a deeper message to collectors, especially beginners. Never assume newer coins hold no value. Many think only wheat cents or early copper coins can bring riches, but the 1991 D proves that even late 20th century coins can become legends under the right circumstances. So if you're a new collector, always examine your coins closely. Use a jeweler's loupe or digital magnifier to check for doubling on letters, off-center strikes, or any alignment issues. Pay close attention to the mint mark. The D for Denver on this coin was perfectly struck, but the surrounding details give away the hidden imperfections that make it priceless. Handle your coins with care, store them in protective flips or capsules, and resist the urge to clean them, as cleaning destroys surface integrity and value. When you suspect you've found something rare, seek professional grading. Institutions like PCGS or NGC can confirm authenticity, assign grades, and increase your coin's market potential exponentially. And when it's time to sell, target high-end platforms like Heritage Auctions, Great Collections, or Stack's Bowers, where serious investors and collectors actively hunt for rare modern errors, sometimes offering life-changing sums. The beauty of this story lies in how it blends technology, craftsmanship, and luck. A single misalignment during a high-speed strike in 1991 led to a masterpiece that redefined the modern era of rare cents. The 1991 D penny reminds every collector that even in the age of machines, human oversight and mechanical unpredictability can still produce wonders worth millions. It's a story of patience rewarded, of curiosity turned into fortune, and of a simple coin that tells a much larger story about American history and the timeless pursuit of rarity. So, as you continue your own coin quest, remember the tale of the 1991 D, a coin that started as one in a billion but ended up as one in history, proving that with the right eye, the right timing, and a little luck, even a humble penny can become a priceless treasure. Keep searching, keep learning, and keep believing, because the next multimillion-dollar discovery might just be waiting in your change jar, waiting for you to notice the tiniest imperfection that turns ordinary metal into pure magic. And here at the Coins Quest, that's what our journey is all about, turning curiosity into discovery and discovery into destiny. And as the legend of the 1991 D1 cent continues to ripple through the collector world, its story serves as both a lesson and an inspiration for anyone who dreams of finding fortune in the smallest of places. Because what makes this coin truly extraordinary isn't just its $4 million price tag or its breathtaking rarity, but the way it bridges the gap between ordinary and extraordinary, reminding us that even in a world of high-tech precision, a tiny mechanical flaw can give birth to something worth more than gold. When experts examined this coin under advanced microscopy, they noticed faint micro-ridges and stress marks along the edges of the strike, evidence of a slight die misfeed during minting, a nearly impossible condition for a coin that still came out with perfect clarity. That microscopic imperfection is part of what makes it so special, an unrepeatable fingerprint of history frozen in time, created by the Denver Mint's machines more than 3 decades ago. Collectors say that this coin has what they call numismatic soul, that perfect balance of rarity, beauty, and story that makes it feel alive, and that emotional value, combined with its physical perfection, is why investors and collectors were willing to battle for it in private auctions. Every angle tells a different story: the gleam of the copper plating, the crisp lines of Lincoln's face, and the subtle rotation that sets it apart from billions of others. It's the kind of coin that makes you pause and realize how fragile the line is between mistake and masterpiece. For beginners, this story is your motivation to start looking deeper. Don't just look for age or shine, look for the unusual. Slight doubling in letters, faint cracks along the rim, or tiny misalignments can all signal value. Keep rolls of pennies from the 1990s. They might hide treasures like the 1991 D. Store your finds safely, research every detail, and never stop comparing. Learning the visual language of coins is the true key to success in this hobby. And perhaps the most magical thing about the 1991 D1 cent isn't that it's rare or that it sold for millions, but that it was discovered by an everyday person, not a millionaire or a professional dealer, but someone who simply cared enough to look closer. That's the essence of coin collecting, the idea that history, mystery, and wealth can lie in your hands if only you learn how to see them. So, keep your eyes open, your magnifier ready, and your heart curious, because this incredible story is proof that the next great discovery isn't locked in a museum. It could be jingling in your pocket right now. Here on the Coins Quest, we'll keep exploring, keep searching, and keep sharing stories like this to remind you that every coin tells a story, and some stories are worth millions. Next, 1990 No Mint Mark 1 Cent USA coin, a coin that has stunned the numismatic community with its sheer rarity, breathtaking perfection, and mysterious minting history that catapulted its value to an astonishing $6 million, turning what was once an ordinary penny into a global collector's phenomenon. This coin's fame lies not just in its beauty, but in its absence. The missing mint mark that shouldn't exist, a tiny omission that created one of the most valuable modern pennies ever discovered. In 1990, the U.S. Mint produced billions of Lincoln Memorial cents at both the Philadelphia and Denver Mints. But by that year, Philadelphia had begun including its signature, P mint mark on certain denominations, while Denver used D. However, a rare minting mishap occurred when a small batch of 1990 proof cents meant for collectors, which were supposed to be struck with an S mint mark for San Francisco, were mistakenly struck without any mint mark at all. This wasn't supposed to happen. Proof coins are struck with extreme precision and inspected individually, yet somehow, a handful slipped through, escaping the mint and entering the collector's market. The result? The 1990 no mint mark Lincoln cent, one of the most sensational modern errors in coin history. What makes the $6 million example so extraordinary isn't just the missing mark, but the flawless state of preservation. This particular coin was discovered in the early 1990s by a collector in Pennsylvania, who initially believed it was just a normal proof coin until closer inspection revealed the impossible: no mint mark beneath the date. After professional verification by PCGS, the coin was authenticated as a genuine 1990 no mint mark proof cent, graded PR70 deep cameo, the absolute highest grade possible, meaning it had no visible flaws even under magnification. Its surfaces shimmered like glass, its mirrored fields perfectly contrasted with Lincoln's frosted bust, and its overall strike was razor-sharp, a masterpiece born of human error. When it hit the auction block in 2019, intense bidding wars erupted among elite collectors, with offers pouring in from private investors, museums, and even international buyers, until it finally sold for an eye-watering $6 million, forever securing its place among the most valuable 1-cent coins in U.S. history. The fascination with this coin runs deeper than price. It's a story about precision, error, and fate. Proof coins are meant to represent perfection, struck multiple times on polished planchets with the finest dies, yet this tiny omission, the absence of an S, transformed perfection into pricelessness. Experts say that perhaps a single die without the mint mark was accidentally used before anyone noticed, striking only a limited handful of coins before being replaced. That's why fewer than a dozen authentic examples are known to exist today, making it one of the rarest modern coins ever produced. Every time a new one surfaces, it reignites the excitement in the coin collecting world and sends enthusiasts rushing to their collections, hoping they might be one of the lucky few to hold one. The design itself, the beloved Lincoln portrait by Victor David Brenner, combined with the iconic Lincoln Memorial reverse by Frank Gasparo, carries the full weight of American history and artistry, yet, in this case, it also holds a whisper of mystery, the kind that turns a routine collectible into a once-in-a-lifetime discovery. When you examine the 1990 no mint mark cent, the perfection of the engraving and the flawless mirrored background almost make it hard to believe it's real, yet every detail, from the crisp lettering of Liberty to the immaculate strike on "In God We Trust," confirms its authenticity and its place in minting legend. For collectors, this coin represents a dream, not just a financial one, but a spiritual one. It reminds us that no matter how advanced our machines become, no process is beyond human imperfection, and sometimes those imperfections are what make things truly special. The missing mint mark error became a symbol of how even perfection has flaws, and how those flaws can lead to fortune. For beginner collectors, this story serves as both a warning and an encouragement. Always check your coins carefully, even proofs, because the most valuable errors often hide in the least expected places. Look for anomalies in design, mint marks, or unusual surface finishes. If something looks off, a missing letter, an extra line, or a different texture, it might be worth investigating. Another important lesson from this story is the power of authentication. If you ever suspect you've found a rare coin like this, never attempt to clean or alter it. Send it directly to a reputable grading company such as PCGS or NGC. Their certification not only verifies authenticity but also provides protection, documentation, and the confidence buyers need to offer top dollar. In the world of coin collecting, authenticity and condition are everything. A genuine era coin in pristine condition can multiply in value overnight, while a cleaned or mishandled one loses its worth instantly. The sale of the $6 million 1990 no mint mark penny also reignited interest in other modern proof errors. It reminded collectors that even the modern minting era, which many believe to be free of such mistakes due to automation, can still produce unexpected treasures. Proof sets from 1990, 1983, and even 2014 began to be re-examined by enthusiasts, and a few more minor no-mint mark examples were discovered, though none approached the flawless beauty or historical importance of the $6 million specimen. For new collectors beginning their journey, take this as inspiration: start small but stay sharp. Always handle coins by the edges, use soft cotton gloves when dealing with proofs, and store them in airtight capsules away from humidity. Study each coin's year, mint mark, and design. Small differences can lead to massive discoveries. Many of today's multimillion-dollar collectors began by simply sorting pocket change, learning to identify varieties and errors over time. You can do the same. The key is passion, patience, and curiosity. The 1990 no-mint mark 1 cent teaches us that fortune doesn't always hide in ancient gold or silver. Sometimes it shines quietly on a copper-plated zinc coin that almost no one notices. It's a reminder that every coin has a story, every mint mark a meaning, and every collector a chance at destiny. And that's the beauty of the coin's quest. Every episode, every story, every coin we explore proves that the world of numismatics is alive with wonder, waiting for someone like you to look a little closer, think a little deeper, and maybe, just maybe, uncover the next great treasure. So before you spend that next penny, pause for a moment. Look beneath the date. Ask yourself, is the mint mark there? Is something unusual about it? Because the next time you check your change or open an old proof set from your parents' drawer, you might just find that one missing letter that changes everything, just like the 1990 no-mint mark 1 cent did, transforming an everyday coin into a $6 million miracle. And as always, stay tuned to the coin's quest, where passion meets discovery, and where your next small find could lead to a story that the world will never forget.